Emperor Yang of Sui, personal name Yang Guang, alternative name Ying, nickname Amo. Known as Emperor Ming during the brief reign of his grandson Yang Tong, was the second son of Emperor Wen of Sui, and the second emperor of China's Sui Dynasty. Emperor Yang's original name was Yang Ying, but was renamed by his father, after consulting with oracles, to Yang Guang. Yang Guang was made the Prince of Jin after Emperor Wen established Sui Dynasty in 581. In 588, he was granted command of the 5 armies that invaded the southern Chen dynasty and was widely praised for the success of this campaign. These military achievements, as well as his machinations against his elder brother Yang Ying, led to him becoming crown prince in 600. After the death of his father in 604, generally considered, though unproven, by most traditional historians to be a murder ordered by Yan Guang, he ascended the throne as Emperor Yang. Emperor Yang, ruling from 604 to 618, committed to several large construction projects, most notably the completion of the Grand Canal. He commanded the reconstruction of the Great Wall, a project which took the lives of nearly 6 million workers. He also ordered several military expeditions that brought Sui to its greatest territorial extent, one of which, the conquest of Kampa in what is now central and southern Vietnam, resulted in the death of thousands of Sui soldiers from malaria. These expeditions, along with a series of disastrous campaigns against Goguryeo, left the empire bankrupt and a populace in revolt. With northern China in turmoil, Emperor Yang spent his last days in Jiangdu, where he was eventually strangled in a coup led by his general Yuanwaji. Despite his accomplishments, Emperor Yang was generally considered by traditional historians to be one of the worst tyrants in Chinese history and the reason for the Sui dynasty's relatively short rule. His failed campaigns against Goguryeo, and the conscriptions levied to man them, coupled with increased taxation to finance these wars and civil unrest as a result of this taxation, ultimately led to the downfall of the dynasty. Background: Yang Guang was born in 569, during the reign of Emperor Wu of Northern Zhou. His parents were Yang Jian, the Duke of Sui, and Yang Jian's wife, Duchess Dugu Qianluo. He was the second son, after Yang Ying, and he had at least one older sister, Zhang Luo, who became the wife of Emperor Wu's crown prince Yuan Yun in 573. He was considered handsome and intelligent in his youth, and of Yang Jian's and Duchess Dugu's sons, they favored him the most. Sometime during Northern Zhou, on account of Yang Jian's achievements, he was created the Duke of Yanmen. In 580, Zhang Jian seized power as regent after Emperor Shen's death. In 581, he had Emperor Shen's son, Emperor Jing, yield the throne to him, ending Northern Zhou and establishing Sui Dynasty as its emperor. When Emperor Wen created Yang Ying crown prince and created his other sons imperial princes. Yang Guang thus received the title of Prince of Jin, as Prince of Jin. Also in 581, Emperor Wen made Yang Guang the commandant at Bing province, in charge of the provinces north of the Yellow River. In 582, Emperor Wen set up a branch of the executive bureau of his government at Bing province and made Yang Guang its head. He made the official Wang Shao the deputy head and had him assist Yan Guang. Later in 582, Emperor Wen took a daughter of his vassal Emperor Ming of Western Liang to be Yan Guang's wife and princess. It was said that Yang Guang loved and respected her. In 584, after some Sui military and diplomatic victories, Tuzhu's Shabalu Khan Ashinashetu submitted to Sui. Yang Guang suggested to Emperor Wen that he rejected Ashinashetu's overture and launch a major attack on Tuzhu, but Emperor Wen refused. In 585, with Ashina-Shetu under attack from one of his subordinate Khans, the Dato Khan Ashina-Dianjue, Emperor Wen in fact sent Yang Guang to aid Ashina-Shetu. In 588, Emperor Wen moved Yang Guang's headquarters to Shouchun, and made him the commandant there as well as the head of the branch of the executive bureau established there. In winter 588, Emperor Wen launched a major attack on rival Chen dynasty. Yang Guang, his brother Yang Jun, and the general Yang Sui were in command of the three main prongs of the operation, with Yang Guang in command of the eastern prong as well as the overall operation. The key official Gao.Yang served as Yang Guang's assistant. In spring 589, the generals Han Qinyu and Heruo Bai, both under Yang Guang, crossed the Yangtze River and approached the Chen capital Jiankang. Soon after Heruo defeated the Chen general Comohe, Jiankang fell, and the Chen emperor Chen Shuobao was captured. Yang Guang, apparently fascinated by Chen Shuobao's favorite concubine consort Zhang Luo, sent Gao.Zhang's son Gao Dihong to order Gao.Zhang to hold consort Zhang. Instead, Gao.Zhang, comparing consort Zhang to Daji, beheaded her. Yang Guang thereafter resented Gao greatly, stating sarcastically, "It has been said, you should repay every good deed done to you. I will repay Duke Gao later." By Yang Guang's orders, several of Chen Shuobao's favorite officials, who were considered reasons for Chen's downfall, including Shi Wenqing, Shen Keqing, Zhang Huilang, Zhu Shi, and Ji Weijing, were executed. It was said that the people praised Yang Guang for his actions. Chen Shuobao and his own clan members, however, were treated with kindness, and at Yang Guang's request, Chen Shuobao sent letters to Chen generals who had not yet surrendered to persuade them to do so, and they largely did. Later that year, Yang Guang's forces escorted them to the capital Chang'an. At the ceremony to present Chen Shuobao to Emperor Wen, Yang Guang marched into the palace first, and Emperor Wen bestowed on Yang Guang decorated wagons, horses, clothing, and jade. Afterwards, Yang Jin was given the Yang province commandant post, and Yang Guang was returned to Bing province. In 590, Emperor Wen swapped the defense posts of Yang Jin and Yang Guang, returning Yang Guang to Yang province. In 594, Yang Guang urged Emperor Wen to offer sacrifices to Mount I, a traditional ceremony for emperors, but one that was rarely carried out. Emperor Wen rejected the elaborate traditional ceremonies, but did carry out a reduced ceremony at Mount I. In spring 600, with Ashina-Dianjue, who had by now become Tuju's Khan, attacking the borders, Emperor Wen sent Yang Guang, Jiang Sui to the Duke of Yu, Yang Guang's brother Yang Liang the Prince of Han, and Shi Wansui, the Duke of Taiping, against Tujue, and they were largely successful against Ashina-Dianjue, protecting the Keman Khan Ashina-Rangan, whom Sui supported, from Ashina-Dianjue's attack. By 600, Yang Guang's older brother Yang Yong had lost the favors of Emperor Wen and Empress Dugu over his wastefulness and his having many concubines. Yang Guang, by contrast, pretended to be frugal and loving only Princess Xiao. Yang Guang further inflamed Empress Dugu by informing her that she believed that Yang Yong was determined to kill him eventually. Empress Yang thus resolved to remove Yang Yong. Yang Guang further had his associate Yuan Shu persuade Yang Su's brother Yang Yu that, because Yang Su's relationship with Yang Yong was not good, that the family would be in peril should Yang Yong succeed Emperor Wen. Finally, Yang Guang also had Yang Yong's associate Ji Wei accuse Yang Yong of plotting treason. Emperor Wen had Yang Sui investigate, and Yang Guang and Yang Sui manufactured evidence evidence against Yang Ying. Emperor Wen deposed Yang Ying and replaced him with Yang Guang, putting Yang Ying under house arrest under Yang Guang's watch. Yang Guang later prevented Yang Ying from all attempts of seeing his parents again. As crown prince, it is widely believed that Yang Guang also continued to scheme to secure his status as the crown prince. Such commonly believed tales include the followings. By 602, his brother Yang Xiu, the Prince of Shui, who was commandant of Yi province and had great resources at his disposal, Yang Guang collected evidence of Yang Xiu's wrongdoing, particularly wastefulness, and had Yang Sui submit them to Emperor Wen. Emperor Wen summoned Yang Xiu back to the capital and had Yang Sui investigate, and both Yang Guang and Yang Sui further manufactured evidence against Yang Xiu. Emperor Wen reduced Yang Xiu to commoner rank and put him under house arrest. Also in 602, Empress Dugu died. It was said that Yang Guang pretended to mourn greatly, refusing most foods, but in private continued to dine normally. In 604, while Emperor Wen was at his vacation palace Renshao Palace, he fell ill and then died, a death, however, that traditional historians, while admitting a lack of direct evidence, believe to be a murder ordered by Yang Guang. Yang Guang, after sending Yang Yu to kill Yang Ying, announced Emperor Wen's death and took the throne as Emperor Yang. Early reign. An immediate challenge that Emperor Yang faced was a rebellion by his brother Yang Liang, then the commandant at Bing province, who was encouraged by the generals Wang Kui and Comohe. Yang Liang received support from 19 provinces, but lacked a coherent plan as to whether to try to challenge Emperor Yang for the control of the entire empire, or just the region north of the Yellow River. After some initial successes, Yang Liang's offenses stalled. Emperor Yang sent Yang Sui against him, and Yang Sui proceeded quickly to Yang Liang's headquarters at Bing province, capturing Xiao and forcing Yang Liang to surrender. Emperor Yang did not execute Yang Liang, but reduced him to commoner rank and imprisoned him for the rest of his life. In winter 604, believing in the words of the sorcerer Zhang Chaotai that the geography of Chang'an was not conducive to his health, Emperor Yang went to Luoyang, designating it as the eastern capital, and would rarely return to Chang'an thereafter. Although Chang'an remained officially the main capital, he ordered that major construction projects be carried out at Luoyang, commensurate with the necessities of having it as the second capital, and he left his eldest son, Zhang Zhao, the Prince of Jin, in charge of Chang'an. He conscripted several hundred thousands of young men to dig a lengthy trench to surround the Luoyang region, intending that it serve as a defense perimeter. He also ordered that women and servants be exempted from head taxes, and that men would only be considered adults when they turned 21. In spring 605, Emperor Yang created his wife Crown Princess Xiao Empress, and Yang Zhao Crown Prince. He also abolished the offices of military commandants. He, at this time, trusted Empress Xiao's brother Xiao Kong, the Duke of Zhu, and made him, as well as many of her other relatives, important officials, creating him the greater title of Duke of Liang. Starting in 605, Emperor Yang also started a massive number of construction projects, including the building of the imperial palace at Luoyang, described to be particularly luxurious. Further, he conscripted a large number of men to build the Tongji Canal, connecting Luoyang with the Yellow River and connecting the Yellow River with the Huai River, as well as to rebuild the Han Canal, connecting the Huai River and the Yangtze River. The two canals, which would eventually become parts of the Grand Canal of China, were said to be constructed within 5 months, but at substantial cost of life. 40% to 50% of the men employed Emperor Yang also ordered that some 40 secondary palaces be built around the empire, so that he could visit the various provinces, arguing that he needed to desert to see the conditions of the empire so that he could govern effectively. In full 605, after the completion of the Tongji and Han canals, Emperor Yang carried out the first of 11 tours that he would eventually undertake of various parts of the empire, going to Jiangdu, the capital of Yang Province, where he had been commandant previously, on an imperial ship that was said to be sufficiently large and luxurious to serve as floating palaces. Also in 605, when Khitan tribes attacked Ying Province, Emperor Yang had the official Wei Yunxi requisition 2 Jue troops under Ashinarangan to attack Khitan. The Khitan forces were caught by surprise and defeated. In summer 606, Zhang Zhao, the crown prince, became ill while visiting Luoyang, and soon died. Emperor Yang would not create another crown prince for the rest of his reign, creating Yang Zhao's sons Yang Tan, Yang Tong, and Yang Yu imperial princes, while initially apparently tacitly considering his second son, Yang Jian, the Prince of Qi, the de facto successor, leaving Yang Jian in charge of Luoyang whenever he would be away from Luoyang. Jiangsu, whom Emperor Yang pretended to respect but actually feared, also died in summer 606. Also in 606, Emperor Yang ordered that 2 massive food storages, the Luokou storage and the Hulo storage, be constructed near Luoyang. In spring 607, Ashinarangan visited Emperor Yang at Luoyang. Also in spring 607, at the instigation of Yuanshu, Emperor Yang had Yang Yong's 8 sons put to death. In summer 607, Emperor Yang abolished provinces and changed them to commanderies. At the same time, he reorganized his father's governmental system of having 5 main bureaus, keeping 4 of the main bureaus: the Executive Bureau, the Examination Bureau, the Legislative Bureau, the Palace Library, while abolishing the Eunuch Bureau and replacing it with the Palace Bureau. He established 3 additional independent agencies and 5 independent departments. He also organized the imperial army into 16 corps. He abolished 3 levels of noble titles: the counts, the viscounts, and the barons, keeping only the princes, the dukes, and the marquises. Also in summer 607, Emperor Yang embarked on a tour of the northern provinces, building an imperial highway from Chang'an to Jinyang. He then personally visited the imperial tent of Ashinarangan, whose display of submission and loyalty caused Emperor Yang to bestow much honor and wealth on him. When the senior officials Gao Jiong, Yuan Bai, and Heruo Bai privately expressed disapproval, Emperor Yang discovered the criticism and put all of them to death, while removing Su Wei, who also discouraged him from giving excessive rewards to Ashinarangan from his post, as Xiao Kong had a deep friendship with Heruo Bai, and there had been rumors that the Xiaos would rise again. The superstitious Emperor Yang also removed Xiao Kong from his post. Keeman visited Yang Di at Yulin. Also in 607, at the instigation of Peizhu, Emperor Yang reopened relations with Xiyu states. In spring 608, Emperor Yang conscripted over 1 million men to construct the Yongji Canal, from the Yellow River to Duo Commandery. It was said that there were not enough men, and he started conscripting women as well. In 608, after persuasion by the Sui official Sui Junsu, the Western Tujue Khan, the Heshana Khan Ashina Daemon, whose mother was Han, submitted to Sui as a vassal. However, also in 608, Emperor Yang received a letter claiming to be from the King of Japan, Juola Subigu, stating, "The Son of Heaven where the sun rises, to the Son of Heaven where the sun sets, may good health be with you." Displeased by what he saw as insolence, he ordered that in the future insolent letters from other states not be submitted to him. Also in 608, initially over disputes over women and hunting, Emperor Yang's relationship with Yang Jian began to deteriorate. He ordered investigations into Yang Jian's violation of laws, and discovered that Yang Jian had used witchcraft to curse Yang Zhao's 3 sons. In anger, Emperor Yang executed and exiled a number of Yang Jian's associates, but he did not depose Yang Jian, although from this point on Yang Jian did not exert much influence on the political scene. In 608 as well, Peiju persuaded the TL tribes to attack Tu Yuhun, forcing Tu Yuhun's Busa Buo Khan Mu Rongfu Yun to flee. Mu Rongfu Yun initially considered submitting to Sui, and Emperor Yang sent Yuan with an army to welcome him. However, when Mu Rongfu Yun changed his mind, Yuan attacked him and seized much of Tu Yuhun's people. When Mu Rongfu Yun fled further, Emperor Yang had his forces seize Tu Yuhun's territory, establishing 4 commanderies, to be populated with exiles. Middle reign. In spring 609, Ashinarangan made another visit to Emperor Yang, and Emperor Yang again rewarded him with much treasure. Also in spring 609, Emperor Yang ordered a redistribution of the farming land throughout the empire. Later in spring 609, Emperor Yang conducted a tour of the newly conquered Tu Yuhun territory, and sent several generals to chase down Mu Rongfu Yun. The Sui forces engaged Mu Rongfu Yun's remaining forces with mixed success, but Mu Rongfu Yun was forced to flee to Dangxiang tribes. Emperor Yang tried to impose Mu Rongfu Yun's son Mu Rongshan, whom Mu Rongfu Yun had earlier sent to Sui as a hostage, as Tu Yuhun's new Khan. But the Tu Yuhun people would not accept him, and Mu Rongshan was forced back to Sui territory. Emperor Yang also received 27 rulers of Xiyu kingdoms in an audience at Zhangye. Later in the year, Ashinarangan died, and was succeeded by his son Shibi Khan Ashina Juo Jishi. Pursuant to Tujue customs, Ashina Juo Jishi requested permission from Emperor Yang to marry Ashinarangan's wife Princess Yicheng. Emperor Yang agreed. Also in 609, Emperor Yang, jealous of the literary talent of the official Zhu Dao Heng, he falsely accused Zhu of defaming the emperor and had Zhu strangled. By this time, it was said that Emperor Yang's lifestyle had become particularly wasteful, and that he no longer felt bound by moral principles. In 610, Emperor Yang visited Jiangdu again, and this time elevated Jiangdu's importance so that it effectively became a 3rd capital. When Emperor Yang was visiting Ashinarangan in 607, a messenger from Goguryu's king Yang to Ashinarangan happened to be present, and Ashinarangan introduced him to Emperor Yang. Emperor Yang ordered Gao Yuan to come visit him, offering to reward him if he did so and to punish him if he did not do so. Gao Yuan did not respond, and by 611 Emperor Yang, insulted by the lack of response, was preparing a campaign against Goguryeo. With Sui appearing to be in its prime, both governmental officials and the people were initially in support of a campaign to conquer Goguryeo. In spring 611, Emperor Yang went to Juo Commandery and announced the campaign against Goguryeo. Several hundred men were conscripted, and it was said that even before they could get to Juo Commandery, disease and fatigue had already caused much loss of life. In response, a number of conscripted soldiers deserted and became agrarian rebels. Also in 611, angry that Western Tuju's Khan Ashina Daimon, while nominally submissive, had refused to visit him, Emperor Yang had paid you persuade Ashina Damon's subordinate Khan Ashina Shegui to rebel against Ashina Damon, promising to give him a Sui princess in marriage. Ashina Shegui thus rebelled against Ashina Damon, forcing Ashina Damon to flee, first to Gaochang, then to Sui. Emperor Yang accepted Ashina Damon's submission, and thereafter divided his people into 3 groups, while leaving Ashina Damon as titularly Khan, although he never allowed Ashina Damon to return to his people. By 612, the soldiers had been gathered at Duo Commandery, and Emperor Yang launched his attack, attacking a number of cities in Goguryeo territory, but targeting mainly at the important city of Liaodong and Goguryeu's capital Pyongyang. However, contrary to the desires of the generals, Emperor Yang ordered that the tactical decisions must first be submitted to and approved by him before they could be carried out. Thus all the Goguryeo forts and cities were able to withstand Sui forces, and thus there was not much chance of Manchuria being successfully conquered. Emperor Yang, however, made a new plan to keep the Goguryeo forts at bay while sending another army, alongside the navy, to siege the Goguryeo capital. The navy arrived first, and with a haste order, the navy attacked the capital but were defeated by ambush. The navy then waited for the land army to arrive. The supply of food had also been greatly delayed, and many Sui soldiers died of famine. Then the Goguryeo general Yilji Mundiok rallied Goguryeo forces, and constantly harassed them with ambushes and feigned retreats. The Sui army had come to the Salsu River, but Yilji and the Goguryeo forces were waiting in ambush. A dam was made at the Salsu River to make the river seem it was shallow. When the Sui army was in the middle of the river, the dam was opened and many Sui soldiers drowned. Out of the 305,000 men that entered the river, only 2,700 soldiers escaped death. Thus the Sui army, or what was left of it, retreated back to Sui. This war had, however, resulted in devastating losses for the Sui in terms of soldiers, money and support from the people. In winter 612, Emperor Yang gave a daughter of a clansman, whom he created the Princess Haorong, to Qiu Boya in marriage. In spring 613, Emperor Yang again ordered that soldiers be gathered at Duo Commandery, as he prepared a second campaign against Goguryeo. He also selected the most elite of the soldiers into a specialized corps, the Shaoguo army. Thereafter, the Shaoguo army became his own personal guards. In response to the conscription order, even more men deserted and joined the agrarian rebels, throwing the north and central part of the empire into a state of confusion. With the officials on command having little military training, the rebels went largely unchecked. One notable exception was General Zhang Zutuo, who was able to defeat some of the rebels, but even he was not able to succeed in suppressing them. In summer 613, Emperor Yang crossed the Liao River again and put Manchuria under siege. However, at this time, news arrived that Yang Su's son Yang Shangan had rebelled near Liaoyang. With the people disaffected by the Goguryeo campaigns, Yang Shangan received much popular support and threatened Liaoyang. Emperor Yang, in fear, lifted the siege on Liaodong and also ordered the southern offensive to be terminated, returning to Duo Commandery while sending Yuan and Kutu Tong south to aid Liaoyang. The general in charge of defending Chang'an, Wei Wensheng, also came to Liaoyang's aid. Together, these forces outnumbered Yang Shangan's and dealt him several defeats. Yang Shangan decided to try to advance west to capture Chang'an as a base of operations, but on the way was again defeated, and he had his brother Yang Jishan kill him to avoid capture. At Emperor Yang's orders, the officials Fan Zigai and Peiyun carried out mass-scale reprisals, executing a large number of people who had followed Yang Shangan. Around the new year 614, by Emperor Yang's orders, Zhang Jishan and Yang Shangan's strategist Wei Fuzi were publicly executed in exceedingly cruel manners. The officials all fired arrows at them, and then they were further drawn and quartered, and then their bodies were burned and the ashes scattered. Around the same time, there were also rebellions south of the Yangtze River, and Emperor Yang sent the official Wang Shichong against the rebels. Wang was able to suppress the rebellions, for the most part, and thereafter began to rise in prominence at Emperor Yang's court. Meanwhile, Emperor Yang ordered that rebels' possessions could be confiscated at will. The local officials, however, used this as an excuse to execute and confiscate properties of those they did not like.